Alright, final stage of this lesson here, the base painting. And by that we're just going to do a very basic light wash of color, so that's not just all white on here. And it just kind of helps blocks out our shapes and colors that we're going to be using, so you don't have to be using precise color matches or anything like that. It's just a baseline, color scheme to put on here. And so precision and exact color matching are not necessary. So have a couple of variety of brushes, bit of linseed oil in a little container, some water for rinsing your brush, some dabs of paint onto your palette right here. The selection I have is from right here, using both the Duo and the Winsor Newton water mixable colors, and of course your cloth to which to clean your brush from. So then you go ahead and dab in here. I'm going to start with the background, which, as we noted earlier, was kind of a pale bluish color. I'm just going to use a bit of this with some white, mix it together. It said don't have to be precise, but do want to thin it out a bit. Remember, you can always add more paint or more linseed oil if need be. Get it nice and thin, and then you start brushing on. I'm just doing simple broad strokes, just trying to get pretty even coverage. Don't care about exact color. Don't even have to be within the lines. Go right through if you need to. You're going to go over it again anyway. What I do is I do my colors and my painting in layers. After I've done one layer of paint, I let it dry out, because with oils they want to continue mixing. So you'll want that to dry, then apply another coat. And that's what you will work from. This gives you something besides white to work on when you start really starting to paint on these. Get a bit more linseed oil. Get it thinner. If you're getting a little caked up on your brush, go ahead and smear it on there and then use that. Nice way to use up your extra paint. Don't worry about graphite or anything that's still on here. It will come off either from the wet paint or just the brushing, or just going over it with paint in general, and it will just go away. It won't hurt anything. Mix a bit more, make that lighter. Da-da-da. You can go fast, smooth, steady, up to you. Just kind of depends on your painting style and your preference. This is one way I can do it. Again, we're not looking for precision here. I'll leave myself a little area here to at least put my fingers to help hold this in place at times, and I'll do that last, so that way I can finish painting the top part and then get to the chicks and other areas. I'm finding I would like a little bit more linseed oil, so take your linseed. Be very careful, of course. Very wide lipped. There we go. Close it back, and always remember to close up everything as you go. Don't just leave your tubes of paint or your linseed or anything like that just open, because you never know, you might knock something down. Better to be safe than sorry. There we go. That's spreading a bit more thinly and evenly. And it's okay if you use up all your paint. You can always mix more. And if you have some left over, you can, as I said in the previous video, you can wipe it off or save it in the refrigerator for another time, if you want to use it, of course. Now first off, then you would then take off the excess off the brush and then clean it in here, because this water will go cloudy very quickly. And you don't want to have too much paint residue in here, so you want to get the worst off onto the cloth, then rinse in the water, then wipe off again onto the towel. I'll now go for a bit of orange here, a bit of yellow orange. We'll go ahead and get the chickies, feet and everything. Once again, I'm not being particularly precise or anything like that. I'm not worried about that. I am just blocking out color. Get some Indian red here. Might be a little strong, so I'll tint that up a bit. There we go. Like this guy's a bit more of a reddish chick, so I'll give him some of that red. Do, do, do. Capture a little bit of a muddier color here. And just mix, mix, mix. Sometimes you want to help capture your highlight areas and your shadow areas. You don't always have to clean your brush every time, especially if you don't have to worry about precision or anything. But if you are a bit more worried about that, clean it each time you change colors, otherwise it won't matter. At this point, I'm going to wipe off the excess. You can either continue from there or clean it in the water again. Capture a bit more of that. Get some of these edges. Add a bit more of a brown. We're not color matching or anything. And even with this color, I could still just see the burnt sienna line underneath it. So for future reference, after this dries, I'll still be able to see where roughly the eye was. So I can add that in later. And that's where using the burnt sienna paint sketch comes in handy. I'm going to mix again with some more, some brown. Help represent some more highlighted areas. Doop 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 doop. Oop, a little too much. I just want to be careful about like not glopping on too much, unless you like a more impasto style with your painting. But otherwise, it just kind of builds up a little too much. Get a bit more of the yellow here. There we go. Now for some white and orange for your classic red chickie here. Mix, 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 thin out. And here we are, just getting ready to finish up here. One more chick. Clean that off a little. Then we'll just do the little sawdust under them. And then we'll have done our base painting. As you see, all this goes by usually pretty quick, especially if it's, very simple subject matter. This guy's a little black chick, so I'll give him that shading. And remember, we could still see the paint sketch underneath it. Alright. Now just for the hay now. Clean the brush again. Nice and loose. Then just go over that here. I'm just going to get a very simple base color down here, nice and light, because I can add in shadows and details later. Clean off your brush again of the excess. Finish getting this guy down here, thin that out a little. Get a tad more white. There, that's better. Starting to feel that was getting more linseed oil than paint, but that's much better now. Just kind of finish that up here. And with that, you are done with the base painting. If you're like me, then you didn't record or take pictures of each progress point you do, you would then do so. Keep that logged in so you know what your progress has been each time you worked on it. That's more for my record keeping than anything else. Clean the brushes and clean your area as told before. And then you'll be done. And with that, I have now demonstrated how to do from the graphite transfer, the paint sketch, and a base painting. And for next time, I will go over different types of techniques as well as informational videos, and we will continue on from there. Again, I'm Veronica of Paint My Moment. Please don't forget to like or follow us on Facebook or Instagram, or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, or become a patron on our Patreon page. Do remember, Patreon is a voluntary subscription site where you can give a monetary donation to your favorite creators. You may even earn perks and benefits based on those contributions. Until next time, bye!